All right, 25 basis points, 7-2. You guys ready to go? All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance because trading is risky. It may not be appropriate for you because it's not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, but chicka Slim Shady. Two trailer park girls around the outside. Stay small, stay humble, focus on long-term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Oh, you like my sweater? Thank you. Look at that. It's so nice. Thank you. It's some weird, like, baby. They took a baby lamb and sheared it. 2-hour-old lamb, the freshest wool in the world. All right, 7-2. MPC 7-2. Right now we got 4.25% interest rates at the Bank of England. Yep. So that's cool. Not a shocker, huh? Modest pound strength in the moment. But anywho, my name is Wayne. I like to trade. It's all I talk about. It's all I do. All day. All night. Yeah. So that's all I do, and I'm proud of it. I guess, is it proud? No, I'm not proud. But I'm happy. What a privilege, huh? So anywho, yeah, some people work for the money and some people have their money work for them. So anyways, pretty cool. Oh, thanks. 1.5 at Swiss National Bank. Cool. So anywho, hey, let me know how I can help during these live streams, which I've been doing for almost 20 years. I let you be the boss. I'm a servant, so I want to know how I can contribute to your success. The squeaky wheel usually gets the grease. I call it participation. Participate through action. You could be a lurker. You could just sit back and watch. But I feel like those that fight for their success find it quickly or more quickly. Anywho, lots of links in the description I want you to check out. There's a link to my book. Check it out. There's a link to my community, FX Bootcamp. Check it out. There's a link to QuantBox, which is what we used to call the super secret, fundamentally based alert service. But it's an algo sitting on the Google Cloud that will work for you. It's your macroeconomic quant in a box. There's a link to tradersway.com, a trustworthy, ethical, boutique foreign exchange brokerage firm that would love the opportunity to earn your loyalty and respect. Would you be so kind as to give them a shot? Check them out. Open up a demo account. All the templates that I offer at FX Bootcamp work on their MT4 and MT5 platform. So if you're a member of FX Bootcamp, which is a whopping $88 a year, one of the things that is included for that enormous amount of money is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of MT4 and MT5 files. Cool. So go to Trader's Way. Open up a demo account, download MT4, then download MT5, go to FX Bootcamp, download the automatic installers, and you can just install everything and then try them out. Adam's tried out the QuantBox training course. That's cool. That those free bonuses are what I announced during the presentation, I guess, a week ago or something. And so all those bonuses are now there, available to you. Long week. So the Fed raised by 25 basis points, not a shocker. The Bank of England has raised, not a shocker. So that's cool. Did anybody attend yesterday's free event at FX Bootcamp? Who was there yesterday? This guy, that guy. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for being there. Let's start with the stock. Well, you know what? Let's see if I got a QuantBox open somewhere. Do I? No, I don't. Oh, I do. Over here. Am I logged in though? Oh, I am. No. Yeah, I am. Cool. I just wanted to look at the market reactions overnight. Let me load the database. Okay, what I'm looking at here, let me expand. I want to go to the heat map. Cool. It looks like it's pulling in the data properly from S&P. That's good. All right, S&P 500 down, Dow down, NASDAQ down, FTSE down, oil down, DAX down. Okay, seems like the stock markets are down. Gold up, Kiwi Swissy up, Kiwi dollar up, Kiwi yen up, Aussie dollar up, Kiwi CAD up, Aussie yen up, Aussie Swiss up. You notice? Kiwi, 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Then what? CAD yen up, CAD Swissy up. So a big commodity rally. And that's a sign of inflation. Was there an error in the headline? Is it QP and not QB? QB. QuantBox Pro. I'm not sure what you're saying, Roderick. So anyways, money is flowing. Remember, this is real time or nearly real time. Updates every few minutes. QB typo. Where do you see the typo? I don't see the typo, man. Oh, his was a typo. So what? And you can just like only look at the stock market indices and see if there's any congruency amongst them. Okay, they're all down. You can look at just the majors. Wait, those are crosses. minor. Sorry, I can't see it. Let me get rid of that. So these are up and these are down. So what can you see? US dollar weak, 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 US dollar weak. Hey, I think maybe the US dollar's weak. What do you think? Pretty sweet, huh? And this is how you'd organize your thoughts, of course. Wow, yeah, look at all the ooh, wow. Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. All the stock markets and yen pairs. Wow, 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 wow. Anyways, let's get off that. Roderick says, I'm asking you, does QuantBox Pro come with a monthly? No. No. Yeah, what's happening, Roderick, is you're scratching your head because you're like, it doesn't make sense. The Pro comes with more tools, more features, more commodities, more currency pairs, and it's cheaper? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm weird that way. If you make an annual commitment, yeah, I'll reward you for making the commitment. Yeah, you end up saving $150 and get a whole bunch more value. It's stupid, I know. I value loyalty. What can I say? It comes from the one day I was in the military, and that's what I learned is loyalty. As the military kicked me out for being diabetic. So anyways, CAD getting crushed. Dixie coming down. I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen the next couple of days, huh? Oh yeah, that reminds me, today and tomorrow and over the weekend, I will be preparing the quarterly outlook. So be prepared to get an email from me. Remember, it's going to be $11. I'm just looking at like the rate of change is definitely different now, and wondering if this will actually start going the other way, huh? Yeah, even this outlier, I can't even squeeze in there. Interesting. It's such an outlier. What? Undo, 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 undo. Help me. I don't know what to do. Where's the... help me, Jim. Help me. Oh, well, I'll just throw down a new template. Yeah, that didn't work. I'll just throw down a new template. Currency index. And then it was pound, wasn't it? Great big pig. Anywho, very, very, very sideways, 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 down heavy. Finding support, but down heavy. Finding support, down heavy in Euro strong. Go through the commodities. Let's do my oh my WTI. Okay. We've gone from 64, 65 area all the way back to 70. And definitely vulnerable for bears. It looks like it's going to try to get to the 200. So it really depends on your interpretation of what happened yesterday. James says, could a commodity rally imply risk on? Usually. But in this case, commodity rally signifies that we will have high inflation for a long time. Oh, right on, Angel. Yeah, I appreciate that feedback. Okay, James, so like, I don't think you'd want to buy the bond market. I don't think you'd want to buy the stock market. But real assets, things that you are literally, by definition, commodities. It means they're commoditized, ubiquitous, in demand, physical, usable, needable things. So that's why 6 months ago I bought mining stocks, for example. Okay. Cool. Okay. I bought mining stocks because I think there's going to be a shortage of copper and iron ore and coal and cobalt, lithium. Okay. That kind of stuff. So my oh my WTI all the way back up here, big old rally. Now, for those that have gone through the FX Bootcamp training, one of the things I do talk about is it's unusual, but when it happens, it's important. The next big number on a breach below the pivot zone, which is very unusual, S3 is important, or opposite but equal, R3. Oh, thank you. I think you're far too kind. Amazed and unbelievable. I appreciate that. You're far too kind. Cool. Well, if love it or hate it, would you guys leave a book review? I'd appreciate that. Okay, so it's like when we're looking at this, you know, what did the Fed tell us? Some people think means risk on, and some people think it's risk off, and people need time. I thought it was funny because I said it yesterday that people are going to debate whether the Fed's going to cut or not. And I did hear it on Bloomberg where one guest says they just have to cut by the end of the year. I just don't understand why people that are supposed to be experts don't understand. For the dozens of people that watched the press conference with me live, we all heard it. He said, we are not cutting interest rates by the end of the year. We haven't even discussed cutting rates by the end of the year. And then people are like, they just have to cut. I'm like, they expose themselves as experts that don't do the work. And I find it actually quite frightening. Yeah, it really makes me want to start a fund. If other people are managing, if experts are managing other people's money but not doing the work, I find it's gross negligence, almost criminal. So we need, the market needs to figure it out. It's kind of funny. They're still debating, and they're master debaters. Yeah, Adam says, I don't know how much clearer Powell can be. And he was totally clear. That's the thing, Adam. And it reminds me of when Bernanke was speaking many years ago. It had to be, I don't know what year it is now. It had to be at least 10 years ago. That it was something similar where I watched him do a speech, and then I read the newspaper that morning, or like the next morning, and I think it was the Wall Street Journal that reported the exact opposite of what I know he actually said. It was 100% wrong. And it made me feel sick. And you know what else? The next morning, the market moved based on what in such a way that would agree with the Wall Street Journal, which means dumb money begets dumb money, I guess. Like somewhere there was a money manager that didn't watch the speech, but instead gets his or her information by reading the Wall Street Journal. And the Wall Street Journal got it wrong, but they made the trade. And it made me doubly sick. No, but to me, it wasn't retailers made it was institutional. It made me realize that even institutional investors are slothy, are sloths. It's sloth. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. Greed is good, but sloth is bad. That's right. So that's what James is saying. Wayne, I encourage all of you to watch the Fed press conference. Yeah. Just the fact you're watching it takes you to another level. Okay. Well, favor, the last time I looked at ZAR was last night or yesterday, and it's not encouraging, is it? So the dollar is weak and Rand isn't doing very well. Potentially a double top here. Okay. Potentially. And if you were going to take it, it's not very hopeful. It might get you down to like 15 if it drops. So but I don't know. It's early on that time frame, but it is tradable. Like on the 4 hour and 1 hour, you can get short now. But the issue I take with this is the way that the chart kind of reads is there's no reason to buy Rand. And that's, I think, the real problem. That's why we got something like this where we're practically, and that's why I have this marked out. You see this? I've already done all the work. We're nearly at the all-time low for South African Rand. And for good reason. It's not a good economy. It's not a good currency. Clearly there's problems, right? In either the debt or the economy. And so it looks like a double top. And it might be a double top. But this narrative, even when the dollar's weak, South African Rand doesn't really respond. Okay, so look, you could trade this. This is a trade. Technically, this is a trade. And, I don't know. I think that's all you could really hope for here. You could play it like an R1, S1, and that's how I kind of got 15. Not quite 19, not quite 15. But at the end of the day, Rand might stay weak even when the US dollar is weak. But if we see this as an inflationary period in the United States and the US dollar remains weak, meaning the Fed can't get inflation down any further, it would weaken the dollar, which would be helpful, to South Africa. South Africa would benefit from their debt not getting more expensive, but it's not necessarily good news for South Africa either. It doesn't fix anything in South Africa. It just hurts less. Okay? Okay, Faber? But you can definitely say, this bottomed out. Okay? Higher highs and higher lows. Okay, great. Very bullish, very bullish, very bullish. Uh-oh. And at some point, maybe this way. But that would just be dollar weakness. I don't know if that would have anything to do with Rand. It doesn't seem like people want to invest. Peso, on the other hand, looks really good. It does respond favorably and is much different than the South African Rand. So in this case, I got this marked out. This is an obvious place. And so for bears, okay, which is risk on. And if you were to compare, should an American invest into Mexico or should an American invest into South Africa? Right now, the answer is quite clearly Mexico. Maybe one side that would benefit South Africa would be a rally beyond 2,000 for gold. So if we're on our way to 3,000 on gold, okay, that's 3,000. Okay. If we're going to 3,000 on gold, that would benefit South Africa. Well, So Richard says, but if in uncertain times like recessions, right, money would flow to the dollar, right? Well, it's already done that. Okay? And if people think the Fed is near a pause, then they're playing 6 months from now. And that's why gold is up. Is the Fed causing inflation right now or disinflation? Or we'll call it deflation. Is the Fed right now creating inflation or deflation? Okay. So not everything is equal in this market. So you have, right? You have this kind of thing like on, not on, or off, but not on is equal to not off. So if, let's say, the Fed is cooling off the economy, okay, and that brings gold down, but now the Fed is not cooling off the economy, so they're now the not off. It's very similar to on, okay, if you're thinking 6 months in advance. So what's happening now, and I've always taught you that, what's happening now is irrelevant. Nobody cares. What's even worse is looking at GDP from last quarter. Who cares? We're not even interested in GDP this quarter. We're interested in GDP next quarter. So we're always thinking 6 months in advance. So that's the narrative. Should we be on, which is simply not off? Right? If you have a teenager, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you say, "Hey, turn the light on." Well, they're turn the light off. Well, they're not on. Well, not. Say, I'm not good with double negatives, but teenagers excel at double negatives. So on is the same as not off. Anywho. Okay. So Bitcoin and S&P 500, yep. Amazing, right? What do you think? A random walk down Wall Street, huh? Even though this whole area means off, people think it's random. Well, good for them. It must be like magic, huh? The markets, so magical. Look where the fall stopped. Daily pivot, weekly pivot, cluster. Nice. So anyways, we'll need some time, a few days, to put together a narrative. People have to really think about what they want to do. Hang on, I was just looking up. Hang on. Just reminded myself of something. Yeah, I'm researching. I talked to somebody yesterday about, actually two people yesterday, about starting some sort of fund, quote unquote, a hedge fund, something that uses alternative investing strategies, pooled, but available to everybody, not just rich people. In particular, money that can come out of a retirement account. And it's a heavy ask, but I'm still super interested. It'd be great if it was just like you could just buy it instead of invest into it. Wouldn't it be like an ETF where you're just like, oh, I want to put money in that ETF, and you just buy it? I don't think it could be quite that way, because you need, I don't want, I don't want complete liquidity, because then I can't invest into alternative investments. So anyways, what should we do? Metals, dollar. I guess we'll do dollars. Euro dollar still got the up. That we're at that next level, right? So buy into the bands. Okay. This one bottomed out here. Remember doing this? We isolated it off a bottom. Up and through. It's in the resistance zone, potentially through it. But remember, my resistance zone is subjective. I simply drew it. It's not based on anything but eyeballing. I think it'd be cool if I could start a mutual fund. I think that would be cool. Or an ETF. Just something that anyone could just buy. So we did that. We did some metals. Bah, 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 bah. All right. Well, let's go through and look at some of these a little more closely. We're still trapped in here, but notice we're losing the angle and separation. MACD is heading up toward the water line. And you're like, Wayne, what MACD? Oh, I can see it and calculate it. I've just calculated MACD in my brain. So MACD is crossed up just slightly. It's a new cross up, and it's heading back to the water line. It's a million miles away from the water line. But that's what it's tempting to do. Now, if I were to insert one, do I have one? It's not even the right one. See, the one that comes with MT4 is the only MACD in the world I know of that only has one line. Like, it's so strange. MT4 has the worst MACD in the entire world. So you have to have a custom one. So those are my settings anyways, because I'm measuring the distance between the 2155 moving averages over the recent period. And there we go. It's not a very good color, but I'll set it up. That's why I said a brand new fresh cross, 1,000,000 miles away from the water line, which is right here is the water line. Huh? Nice! See, you got to be able to calculate your MACD in your mind. In your head, there is MACD. Anyways, just sitting here. Aussie week, US dollar week. Kitty cat week, US dollar week. Still, now from the 14th to the 24th, 10 days we're stuck in my little range. And for those 10 days, I wasn't interested in trading it. Hey, you're welcome. Pig dog, you're supposed to get out, bro. Once again, another random walk down Wall Street. There's no way you could predict that a top resides right here. Oh, wait, you could. Or this, right? Or this. Look, even the little one. Or this. Or all of this. It's all random. Look at the front run, monthly pivot, daily pivot, right? Weekly pivot, monthly pivot. They're all working. And yet people just go around like, you can't predict these things. Really? Why not? I also love price action, not just pivot points. I love price action. Look at that. Just sexy. I mean, I'm telling you, that's hot. Look at this. Just ridiculous. Okay? And here's the other thing. This is the S1, which predicts the R1 will be our top. Richard says, I'm sorry, but the MACD calculates the angle and separation between the two moving averages? Yeah. Yep. Okay. So anywho, okay. Look at that. Like, dude, just caught on that monthly. Just cray. S1 predicts R1, so the best you could hope for, today and tomorrow was getting this up to 63 and, 63.15. And we're 62.60. It's barely even worth the effort. Oh man, I am slow today, huh? I want to show you, you probably know Biddy. Let's look at Biddy and go to a smaller time frame, maybe 15 minutes. Look at that, huh? Risk off, Bubba. Risk off, Bubba. Okay. So remember, random walk down Wall Street. Nothing is predictable. Okay? It's all random. This black line was carved into stone on January 1st. Approximately 100 days ago. Huh. Well, that's an interesting coincidence if it's random, huh? On says, what about it? Was it Yellen? You mean her testimony? No, I don't know. I'd need you to you'd have to point out to something specific. But I think the biggest thing she said in her testimony was that they were not thinking about unlimited funds being insured by the FDIC. That's not a market mover. But this did occur when Jay Powell said they will not cut interest rates this year. And for anybody who was there, I freaked out. I said, that's it! That's the one thing. That's it. I said, oh my God, that's it. He said it. He said it. Okay? And that's what happened after I freaked out. Okay? So to me, I look at this and I can tell you the exact minute in time that occurred. Bitcoin went from solid green to falling off the face of the earth. How many people can confirm my freak out yesterday during the press conference? I was calm and collected the whole time until those words. And I'm like, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's the thing, oh my God. Boop, shield up, red alert, burr. That's the thing you needed to hear. That's the thing, the one thing. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. With the tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. Check out ETH. Okay. Look what we have. So we're on the next leg. Can you see this? Okay, you ready? So that's what we're kind of on now. On our way, if you're a buyer of Ethereum, on our way. Which reminds me, I've been watching as many movies about World War I as possible. Like I'm like searching them out and watching them. And it's amazing how some are really good and then some are really bad. Like you wonder why. Like, is it the camera angle? Is it the camera quality? Is it the acting? And some movies, they're not even holding their weapons properly. They don't walk correct. They don't walk like they can be shot any second. But anyways, I was watching this movie on World War I, and it was from the Germans' point of view, which I love to get the opposite point of view. But it's a British movie, and all the German soldiers are in real life English, and they look English. They talk with outrageous English accents. They capture some Russian nurses who are also speaking with an English accent, right? And it's just terrible. And it's amazing how culturally we can just look our culture and sound our culture and act our culture, where you can dress up like a German soldier, but there's no way in hell you're German. And it's just funny. It's just really funny. And it just throws you off the whole time. You're like, wait, no, they're pretending to be Germans, right? No, they're actually Germans. And you're like, but they don't even look German for some reason. For some reason, right? So anyways, it's just funny. In your head, they are German. But all right. So anyways, ETH just climbing. Risk off by Bitcoin. Okay. Caught up on the pivot points, like just beautiful, right? Like, dude, seriously. Okay. Look at us get caught up in the profit zone. So this pink area means if you're a bull, you're supposed to exit for profit. Huh? And you can see that somebody has also played this monthly, and somebody's looks like they're playing that monthly as well, huh? And that's the monthly sell zone. Okay. The issue I have with this is I don't really think it's a sell now, because once again, this is random, right? This is the predicted bottom for the month of March for ADA. And we knew that on March 1st. So it's incredible. Okay. Remember, on this day, these were set in stone. They didn't move. They have not moved. They are not moving. They're not adjusting for past performance. Okay. This was the projected low. And if you hit it early in the month, and this is the 9th, so would you say that that's early in the month? Yeah, probably. Then my training course says if you hit that zone early in the month, very often you go back to the central pivot point. And we did. And this is random? Wait, and this was random? And this was random? Okay. See, if now let me do this in pink. If you bought this bottom, which is a higher low, then the perceived target exit is here. That's just a boring everyday weekly swing trade. So is ADA random? Is this a random noise in the crypto market? No. It's very, very, very much logical trading. So if you trade cryptocurrencies, there's some really nice opportunities here using the tools I preach and teach. Thank goodness it's not random, huh? So today is Thursday, which means the day trading group and swing trading group is going to meet at 4 p.m. We're going to plan out next week. So if you want to cover some crypto, you just ask, my friend. How many people here want more crypto coverage during my live streams at Forex.Today? Whew. Wow, what a week, huh? Holy smokes, another long week. I have such a crazy day today. It's insane. How am I going to get through today, guys? It's so funny. My goal is just to get through today. I will sit down probably 10:45 at night tonight. Just, I made it. Okay. Well, the interesting thing about crypto is it is very much a correlated asset class. So if Bitcoin drops like a ton of bricks today off of something like this, I would expect the stock market to be down, the US dollar to be strong, gold to be down. So we certainly need to pay attention. Yeah, you don't have to understand each, like the difference between Bitcoin and ADA, which is a lot. There's a huge difference between the two. But SOL and ADA, Cardano and Solana. Okay, what are the differences there? And that's where it gets a little trickier for the average Joe. Now, plenty of you could probably do a full 1 hour presentation, the difference between Solana and Cardano. But, I'm thinking of multi-chains and all this, way beyond the average Joe. But at the end of the day, I'm not actually a crypto investor or trader. I'm a macro investor and trader. And so I'm more interested in the crypto market's correlation in the aggregate. It has value because people buy it. Yes, true. But what I've said before, and I still stick with it, even though we go through these crypto winters and all that kind of stuff. Because when I was a young stud male supermodel, I was in the heart of the Silicon Valley building the internet. Oh, sorry, the chat. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you're into it. Okay. But the thing is, in the early days of the internet, it was drug dealers and terrorists and pedophiles sharing information and resources in a sort of a dark manner. There wasn't much use for it. And then the browser was created where you could have pictures online. Well, nudie pics, and you couldn't put porno. It was just pics. Took over the world. And again, the only use for the internet was for, nudie pics. And that's what people were talking about. It's a scam. It's stupid. It's bad. And I remember when I first got my home internet, I think I had the 9600 baud modem, 9600 baud. I had to search and find an ISP. You couldn't even find an internet service provider. You had to really go find one. How do you get internet? And then I walked to my university that has 30,000 people in the business school. It's a big university. So imagine 60,000 kids going to a university. I walked into a room. There was a kid at a computer, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "I need an email address." And he's like, "Cool, I'll get you one." I just talked to a kid. "I need an email address." He's like, "Okay. What do you want it to be?" And I said, "Wayne." "Okay. So it'll be Wayne at sjsu.edu. I'm like, "Cool." So that's how I got my first email address. So I'm making the point that it was early days. I didn't even fill out a piece of paper. I just got Wayne at sjsu, San Jose State University.edu, just like that. And then I got my website up, and I had to learn HTML so I could build a website. Cool. So we're talking very early days. Okay. And at that point, everybody would tell you the internet was stupid and that there was no use for it except if you're up to no good. So imagine that's what people are talking about when they're talking about crypto. And in particular, I'm more interested in blockchain. So they're like, it's all stupid. Well, that's true. But there's also a use case, many use cases. And as we evolve the technology, more and more use cases come out of it. Now, I was also, in the Silicon Valley at that period where money was going after everything. Everything. You probably have heard the story where, someone sits down with a table, with a napkin, writes out a business plan, and gets millions of dollars of funding. So yes, stupid things happen. Money went to all kinds of radical, crazy, dumb, wonderful ideas. 25 years later, you can't imagine living without it. In fact, you probably don't even realize that half the devices in your house are talking to the Chinese. Giving away your secrets. Huh? I mean, think about it. Some teenager in Washington, D.C. is the child of probably a senator, and they walk into the house with their iPhone, with TikTok, and the parents don't even know, and then they connect to the family Wi-Fi, bada bing, bada boom! Drop in some love, and then start searching for government websites through now the senator's phone or computer, which is connected to the same Wi-Fi. But anyways, so in the early 90s, in 1991, people would tell you the internet is stupid and a waste of money. And that's kind of still where we are with most crypto. It's all a scam. It's all stupid. It's all drug dealers and terrorists and crazy, wild speculators. But you know what? We're testing the water. We're building the technology. We're funding crazy ideas. And 99.9% of them will fail. But it's humans mutating. That's the secret to humanity, is we get stronger and stronger. So 99.9% of it will fail. 0.1% will change the way you live on Earth. So cool. We'll get there. But that's not why I would trade currencies. If you like that, you would invest into a currency and you'd sit on it for 30 years. Okay? But I trade based on global macroeconomics, which means simply the flow of capital around the world. So if the flow of capital around the world today bears the signs of risk off, Bitcoin will fall. Euro dollar will fall. Aussie dollar will fall even further. Gold will fall. So you can see I'm trading the aggregate. Okay. Yeah, the Mosaic. I had them all. I mean, I had friends working at Netscape when it was a tiny little startup back in the beer bus days. And people are like, oh, do you remember the beer bus days? Back when Netscape was a tiny little startup, they were so radical. They were the first to ever do that. And I'm like, no, they were not. So if you go all the way back to when Apple was a tiny little startup, they would rent cable cars in San Francisco and put beer kegs on them. So, you know, everybody thinks they're new and unique. Now, when I was in a tiny little startup called Cisco, if you remember Cisco Systems, they used to make bridges, actually. Not the kind of bridge you're thinking of, but anyways, they were in the old Netscape trailers. Yeah. So I used to work in the executive building, building number 3, when they finally moved into buildings. They just moved in. I was in building number 3, and the CEO, John Chambers, came by my cube and hung out for a few minutes. It was a really good company back then. Man, was it good. Fantastic company back then. So anyway, so that's how I look at this. David's like, hey man, happy to stay out of pound yen. Thanks for your advice. That's how Dwayne do. So let's go look at that. Man, I am exhausted. How am I going to do all this research for our Outlook? That's what I'm going to start writing the Outlook today. And I'm like, how am I going to get the energy to do that? So we were talking about pound yen. Yeah, I'm looking at that like, wow, yeah, I don't want that. Gee whiz. Ugh. You know, I'm a seller of these yen pairs anyways, right? But like CAD yen, I can't sell there. I would like to sell this between 97 and 98. What do you stink? So we're going to do that kind of stuff tonight. So this is how you get into the day trading, the swing trading group tonight. It's a very complicated, very elite, very prestigious organization. You have to qualify by having your credit card be charged $99 per month. If you can do all of that, you're welcome to join. And we will plan next week. So we are now at the bottom of this move. Okay. At the beginning of the month, M3 was where we started. And I talked about in the swing trading group, I want you to listen to this because this is the truth. I said, I don't know if it was that day. I'm talking the first Thursday or even the last Thursday, right, of February, March, whatever that period, right? Right in there, whatever. And I said, I don't know if it's today, tomorrow, next week, or 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. Okay? But I said before January 1st, I believe the yen will be strong. Okay? Now, well, the yen was weak and this was going up, that whole period, I said, by the time we get to March, I will be a yen bull. Can anybody here confirm all of that? Like all the way back to February's rally, the whole time I said, well, by the time we get to that March, I will look to be bearish. Look, another bull day. Well, I'll be a bear soon, right? Another bullish week. Well, I'll be a bear soon. Another bullish week. Well, time to start thinking about being bearish. Only Jim? Really? And nobody else? Really? Well, that tells me I need to do a better job then. Yeah, many times. Well, it's the whole point, right? Yeah, Peter's like, yeah, not even, yeah, every year. Well, yeah. Yeah, which when Peter says it that way, it tells you like, I'm not making it up and it's not random. Cool. Hey, Peter, now that you're here, if you know people you can talk to, again, help me find an answer to this. I want to start a fund that a non-accredited investor can buy into. And specifically, I need something I can promote publicly. Like basically on YouTube, advertise it to the general public. Now, a hedge fund, obviously, you can't do stuff like that because of Reg D, right? Was it Section 502 Reg D? I'm like, so I get it. I don't want a hedge fund, but a pooled investment structure I can promote publicly to the general public. If you know someone that can give me advice on that, point me in the right direction, like, oh, you should go do this thing. Let me know. I know you know people. So I'm talking to everybody I possibly can. Find out where I should be going, what I should be doing for that. Again, about 2 weeks ago, I had a dream where I was writing people checks. And it I dream funny because I meditate all the time. So my dreams are like reality. It's weird, but it's from meditating all the time. I don't have like sort of weird things like I'm talking to a giraffe or some weird, I know people that have weird dreams. I don't have weird dreams. I have like vivid reality dreams. And so not only was I writing people checks, but the people were invested with their retirement accounts. It's strange. Like I literally have dreams like that. Many, many times I've solved mathematical equations while totally asleep in dream state. I've actually woken up, wrote down the answer, and then went back to bed and went back and checked it. And I did actually do the math, very complicated math, while totally asleep. So anyways, I have these weird dreams, or not weird, but I have these vivid dreams. In this case, I was managing people's money, and I know for a fact it was because people were thanking me that this is the money they're living on. And I got to this because I get so upset by money mismanagers. In 2008, I was very upset by it. Again, with COVID, very upset by it, but that there are professionals that are paid to manage people's money, and they do a horrific, negligent job, and I get very upset. I don't understand why people don't understand, especially the professionals. And so I think this is what happened, where I had this dream like, I need to do it. I need to do it. I need to do something, right? So anyways, but that's a big jump to go into I don't know if I need a mutual fund or an ETF. Both of those don't sound right. But something, someone could throw 25 grand into, that kind of stuff and sit on it for 20 years. Meanwhile, getting paid. Yeah. So my goal is, wouldn't it be cool to pay retirees 1% a month? Like, pay them. So every 3 months, I cut a check for 3%. Okay, so on $1 million account, I'm cutting a check for $30,000. I give it to this is what I was dreaming. I give it to the retiree. And they're so grateful because there's still $1 million in the account. So to me, it's just, I want to manage an endowment, but not for a university, not for a museum, not for the opera house, but for retired people. I want to, right? So that when people die at an old age, they've lived a good life, and all that money is still there. And now they can give that to their children and grandchildren, just like the money is meant to last in perpetuity. An endowment, a retirement endowment. So I'm like, I don't think that exists. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm just naive, but that's how the money should be managed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, Wayne, how about the proposed offshore funds registration, licensing, and all that previously discussed? I was in conversation about that just yesterday. Roderick says, hey, make that happen, the endowment for retired people. But imagine the amount of legal and regulatory complexity. It might take me $1 million just to start it. And I'm like, it's not something you can just do. And I'd have to go through a lot of registrations and all that kind of stuff. But I have a bunch of friends that already have regulated, SEC, NFA regulated structures, because it would have to be in the U.S. I have a lot of friends that have structures outside the United States. But I thought maybe I can piggyback on them, or there's a service I could piggyback on. So, so I sub-register it maybe, and then they also do the management and the compliance, and I just do by management, I mean like regulatory compliance management, reporting management, those types of services where I just manage the money and do the marketing, right? That kind of thing. So I'm looking at all kinds of things, but it'd be great. I thought about maybe as a charitable trust, charitable fund, because I think one of the things is if I don't charge any money, it frees me up for a lot of different things. Okay. Stewie says, why not make a video of the cruise trip and how to open a company and all you have to go through and sell that? Well, I'm doing it for personal reasons. Okay. So I used to go on 3 or 4 speaking engagements per year. And it was my opportunity to meet with boot campers and have a big fancy dinner with a big group and have some cocktails and really get together. It was a vacation that I would write off in my taxes. Took a lot of work, but it ended up being how Wayne has fun. And so this trip is similar. So like doing the trip and then recording it and then just sell the recording. No, I want you to come on a trip with me. So I think twice a year I'd like to be in the Caribbean. I know exactly where to go. I know exactly what to do. So right now, I was going to bring in this one particular lawyer. I'm not going to do it. So I'm talking to other lawyers that would want to come onto the cruise with us so they can give us, a presentation on the legalities of being, let's say, an American with one of these offshore accounts and how people get into trouble and the do's and the don'ts and all that kind of stuff. But then while you're right, when we get to the island, that you have an opportunity to sit down with them one-on-one for, let's say, 20 minutes, and they gather the information from you, and they answer your questions, and they start the process, like literally it all just happens where you're getting there. Because a lot of people, they don't know what to do, where to go. They're going to, they don't know how to hire a lawyer, all that kind of stuff. So I thought, I just have everything arranged. And so there's a couple other people I've talked to about this that have more institutional level clients, like you guys are retail. So I was sharing this idea with a friend of mine who's a hedge fund manager, and then he shared it with someone who I think owns a bank, and he was talking about me to the bank guy, and the bank guy's like, boom, I got like 20 institutional people that want that. They want it now, like today. And they're banging on my door. Wayne, are you doing it? Are you doing it? So there could be like small institutional players around, us retail. And I want the lawyers and the fund managers that have gone through it in the past to explain it and all that kind of stuff. And then when we get there, it actually gets done. And then we have this amazing networking event where we get together, we have some cocktails, we roll our own cigars. If you're interested, you can get a little class and we'll roll our own cigars. And if you're not into that, you can just be out by the pool having a cocktail event. And, an hour later, we all come back. And then I will arrange for probably the most unforgettable meal of your life. A type of a meal that you will tell people on your deathbed. Like a meaningful moment in your life. And of course, at the end of it all, it's only the memories that you have kept that matter, huh? So, yeah, I don't want to record that. You know what I mean? I don't want to record that. I want to do it twice a year. Yeah. But it's going to be, it's going to be in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 grand USD. But that would include the lawyers, the compliance, all the filing fees, because remember, the governments are charging you money to file this and file that. And if there are sort of minimum taxes to be paid, you got to pay that up front. And then you got to pay for the cruise, and you got to pay for your Wi-Fi, you got to pay for your rooms, so on and so forth. I mean, that's everything. Yeah, I'm hoping I can do that as soon as June, July, or August, but it also depends on when the cruise is available. How do I balance work and play? I generally don't play. So I have no balance. But we were talking about this actually last week in the swing trading group. Do you know any balanced, self-made people? I would say I have a ridiculous, sickening work ethic, and it's hard on my friends and my family. They know I love them, and they know I'm working hard for them, directly or indirectly. But it's still, I'm sort of like the lovable, huggable porcupine. I'm a hard guy to love, but he's so cute though. So yeah, I'm imbalanced, and I've always been imbalanced. But I think about it, like the only thing I do is meditate, but I should probably like be in a karate class, or something like that. So twice a week I go kick heavy bags or something and scream. But it's okay. I cry in the shower. I get a good cry out. I just bawl and sob with the water beating down on my face. So it's cool, man. That's how I get through it. So anyways. So yeah, a balance. But, I don't know. How do I find balance? It's really a good question. I don't know. Like today, I might yet another cigar because I'm tired and I'm stressed. And here's the thing. I don't want to do my work today. I don't want to do the research. I'm tired. But we're going to do on Monday an event where we try to predict the next 3 months of trading using deep research and analysis. And I don't want to do it, but here's how I get through it. So I don't know Monday if this is balanced or imbalanced, but I'm going to sit outside with a fresh cappuccino because this one's empty, and probably a beautiful cigar that's 10 years old, beautifully aged. And I'm going to sit out there and I'm going to make the work fun. I'm going to reward myself while I do the work. So I don't want to do the work and I'm too tired. Fine. So I'm going to get up and do it anyways. I'm going to sit outside. I'm going to listen to the birds sing. I'm going to have sun on my face. I'm going to have a fabulous coffee of the highest quality. I'm going to have a fabulous cigar of the highest caliber. And I'm going to sit and do my work and enjoy it. Okay? And I'll thank God I have the opportunity to do it. And so that's how you do it. You just keep going. You keep moving forward. Yeah, you have to balance the imbalance. And that's really well said, Jim. I mean, that truly is it. Do you break down work into chunks? Well, that's called planning, Monday. Yes, that's what a business plan is. Anthony says, always take some time for yourself and just relax. I commit 1 hour to myself for the last 15 years, just relaxing. Well, I meditate every morning for about 40 minutes. Okay. But I'm a grinder. I'm not dumb. I'm not a genius. And I was raised poor. So I was taught, and this is sort of, and I think Canadians are taught this. Maybe it was just in the 70s and 80s or something. But work ethic. Work hard. And that's a message of middle class, lower middle class. I mean, think of it. It comes from the time of, I don't know. It's a message that lower and middle class people get. Just work hard and you'll do okay. And so I have that. Nobody taught me to work smart. Nobody said, here's how you will make millions of dollars, Wayne. No one ever thought that way. No one ever thought to be like, I'll teach you how to start your own business and you'll be a millionaire. I never got a message like that. That's not, especially not in Canada. So I was just taught, never laugh, never cry, never take salsa dancing lessons. Okay. And if you work hard, you'll do okay. And right? That's that. So I get my goal today is just to grind through it. I'm a grinder. I will just work hard. I will do it anyways. Okay? I will do it anyways. I don't want to, but I will. And then when I do it, I love it. I love doing it. It's just I'm tired. It's been a hell of a week. Well, whatever. Right? You remember the 3-second rule in my book? Yeah. So I can cry for 3 seconds, and then I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to motivate myself to do it anyways. And that's just the story of my life. It's hard. Do it anyways. I'm tired. Do it anyways. Okay? So anyways, not meant to be a motivational speech or anything. How do I balance? I'm nuts. I have a ridiculous, sickening work ethic. Okay? But I know very wealthy people that were born very wealthy, and they were not taught that. That's the interesting thing. And in fact, in one of my management classes at Harvard, we studied the story of Carla Harris, who works at Morgan Stanley, still does. But the case study was on her story, where she grew up. I think her father was a pastor or a priest or whatever based on the religion, a leader in the church. And the mother was a school teacher, if I remember correct. And she's black, African American, and grew up in a modest neighborhood, not quite middle class, almost middle class neighborhood. And she was taught by her parents to work hard, just work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. And she got a good upbringing. She was very, very, very smart. She excelled all the way through school because she worked hard at being in school, worked hard at getting good grades. She had a ridiculous, sickening work ethic. She eventually gets to Harvard Business School and graduates #1 in the class because nobody worked harder than Carla Harris. Then she interviews multiple banks on Wall Street that all want to hire her because she's #1 in her Harvard Business School class. She doesn't like most of them, but eventually she finds one that was quite different culturally, and that was Morgan Stanley. So she gets hired by Morgan Stanley. Well, 2 or 3 years go by. Not only did they hire her from Harvard and some other B schools, they hired, a couple of dozen others. So let's say there's 25 new hires at the same time Carla Harris was hired. 2-3 years go by and every single person was promoted, but not Carla Harris. So was it because she was female? Was it because she was black? Or was it because she grew up middle class, was told just to work hard, keep your head down, work hard. People will notice you and take care of you. That's what I argued. My argument was, you know what? That's not how Ivy League people think. If those other kids are Harvard, Ivy League educated, not just kids, but their families, their mom and dad went to Harvard or some other Ivy League, Princeton and Yale, okay? Or imagine their grandparents went to Yale or Princeton and Harvard. Then they get a completely different message. And I believe the point of that case study, in my interpretation, is that she didn't know how to work in that elite culture. She was taught to keep your head down, work your ass off, and be amazing. And things will work out. And everyone else was taught the game, self-promotion, to play the politics. Okay? And it's unfair. Women know this big time. They're like, I don't want to go out for, whiskey and cigars with the boys in the office. That's not my thing. And then you find out who gets all the promotions. Right? Women know this all too much. And they're like, dude. Right? Why did Jerry get the promotion? Because he golfs with Bob, his boss. And they go for cigars. And they go to the Knicks game. And then Bob gets promoted, so he promotes Jerry to replace him. And you're like, dude, but I'm the smart one. I do all the work. Well, if you're the smart one doing all the work, why would they promote you? They want you to do all the work. So anyway, I know that there is a different message when we're raised and that there are different games. And all I know is that humble boy from Saskatchewan kind of message of all I got is a ridiculous, sickening work ethic and, some brains. But there's so much there's right. There's out there. There's a different level. Like if you're going to work hard, you can make $1 million. How do you make $10 million? How do you make $100 million? Working hard? No. Working on the right thing? Yes. Oh, that sounds good, Anthony. Anyways, yeah, have a wonderful day. If you're in the day trading group or the swing trading group, I will see you at 4 p.m. in the swing trading room. Everybody, I would like you to become a member of FX Bootcamp and join the swing trading group. It's $99 a month, so it's affordable. And there's 2 live meetings a week. It will have a positive influence on your trading, and you will be surrounded by driven, like-minded people. Okay? So we invite you to join us. If you want to get rich quick, go find some kid on YouTube. Okay? So, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Have a good one. Cheers.